So first of all, I want to welcome each one of you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to put them on the comment section, and IMS Africa will be free uh, to respond them respond to them. Number one, number two, this session, yes.
Sorry. Nimeona imebadilika. The YouTube was ilikuwa inaonyesha PowerPoint.
Okay.
Iko sawa.
Okay.
Iko sawa.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that today we are going to take a few minutes just to understand what is planning. And basically, we say planning is a skill, and this skill requires us that we understand it, and it's at the center of our strategic planning. And therefore, we say any leader out there who is looking at ensuring that he is at the top of issues, then planning must be part of the skills that he must learn as a leader. So this webinar, we are calling it Mastering the Art of Strategic Planning for a Lasting Impact. So basically, as I mentioned, any queries, any questions, please put them in the comments, and then we'll be able to respond to them. Now, I'm looking at the teams who have joined here. I believe you are leaders, or you're aspiring to be leaders, or you are leading a team or process. So basically, this skill is a very essential skill to leaders who are looking at actualizing both organization and their professional goals. So we will be focusing on basically planning as a skill that is going to assist you, especially to navigate uh, achieving goals or any changes that are likely to be coming across during your day-to-day operations and a few things that you're looking as an organization to achieve. Basically, any organization out there, we are interested in tripling our bottom line. And when we mean tripling our bottom line, I'm looking at profits, planet, and people. So basically, all activities within an organization are geared to make sure that the people achieve a few tasks. But within that, you are efficiently managing your processes effectively, and therefore being able to realize profits for your organization. Now, this session will take about 30 minutes or so, but at the end of the day, we say leadership is developed daily. So, I mean, as leaders who are here, thank you, but it's a question of being able to appreciate that even beyond this particular session, we should be able to continue learning on a daily basis. So it's not a day event that when you leave here, now you are an expert in planning. And that is according to John C. Maxwell, those many days, as he mentioned, that leadership development is a daily issue. So, and this planning skill, therefore, will help you to strive in achieving a strategy or change or even attracting or retaining talent. So at the end of the day, it will then begin by us understanding two critical elements, two of them. So one is planning, which we want to have a conversation. And the second one is scheduling. And most of us, we schedule and thinking that we're planning. So basically, when we talk about planning, the process starts with thinking through activities that you need to do to achieve a desired goal. That's the first thing. So think through. So you want to, let's say, travel. So basically, you're looking at a number of things that revolves around that particular activity through time that you need to leave, what you need to hold on to, when do you capture either tickets and so on and so forth. But listing those things is very easy, and putting them down is very easy. But we're saying a good plan, and then he has looked at those things and put them in a thinking process that gives in some sort organized foresight. The thing is that it's one thing to say that I need to go to town tomorrow, but at the end of the day, you need to be very clear that there are things that can make you not go to town tomorrow. And most of us, when we're planning, then we fail to think at the secondary level. That's why we're saying planning then revolves through the thinking process, so that you have an oversight of the details beyond the things that you need to do that are likely to make you not achieve what you want to achieve. But it is also based on facts and some experiences based on what you know. So, for example, we are in the season of rain, so it's just not enough then to say that tomorrow I'll be in town at 4 p.m. And you forget to realize the existing facts and experiences that can make you not go to town. And that's where most of us fail. We fail from a point of not thinking through those facts that are available, the experiences we're going through, and then you realize that when you're supposed to be in town at 4, you actually arrive there at 5, and now people are looking at you that you are a poor planner, and yet the facts that were available or the experiences that we have gone through were not embroiled enough to be able to help you realize that your plans may need to be adjusted for you to achieve some certain goal. So that's what we say planning. Planning goes beyond what you want to do into thinking through other things that are likely to make you that you're likely to make you not achieve. And once you realize those things, they start helping you to adjust here and there. They start helping you to think through one or two other things that needs to be done for you to realize some steps or milestones towards the main particular goal. And this is where it then differs a little bit with scheduling, which 95% of us we are happy to do and sometimes things that we are planning. So basically, we're looking at once you have very clear noble things, then you put them in a schedule. So you see, by the time you're putting in a schedule, is basically the planning process has already happened in your mindset. So that now the schedule is basically just to try and pin down what needs to come before what, and so on and so forth. And most of us we tend to put things without not thinking through, and we oversight, so that by the time now we are executing them, you realize, oh, I was supposed to have applied for petty cash, or I was supposed to have notified so and so I'm leaving, and then those small details affect your planning process and the achievement of the goals. So as leaders, then we need to interrogate a little bit around that, because that then becomes the cornerstone of whatever we want to achieve from a planning point of view. And of course, as leaders, you find yourself and then delivering results through people. So most of the time, we forget that you have successfully gone through a good planning process, but within that particular thinking, you find yourself not having delegated one or two things. And lack of delegating one or two things, then you find that you are overwhelmed, or a resource within your team is not actually articulating a few things here and there. And at the end of the day, the objective sits at your desk. So the ability to know the strengths and the weaknesses of your team and looking at the plans that you want to achieve then helps you a little bit more to be able to delegate adequately. Once you've thought through the things that must be done, you have scheduled them a little bit clearly, and then now you're looking at the team, then who can do what, and so on and so forth. So then that's what we are saying, that whenever you are a leader, and you have a team to support you, it's important that you understand who does what, so that the tasks can be completed, so that the whole picture then is achieved as required. Now, so the three things then therefore becomes clearer when it ends up into what we're calling a planning tool. And that's why we're saying that you can't be a manager without a planning tool. And the planning tool can be as simple as a schedule that planning has gone through, to complex tools that will show you responsibility, who needs to do what, by when, and so on and so forth. So basically, when we talk about planning tool, each one of us has access to whatever you are using. And most of us, of course, we schedule. But the point I'm trying to bring here is that scheduling is not planning. planning must be take through into small details before now you put in that particular tool. Now, as leaders, then we must reflect a little bit around that, what it means, because it's a behavior. So it begins by you, because that's why we say when you look at business, if you look at from a business point of view, then you realize that all our customers are people. Then we are saying also 100% of our employees are people. And if you have to achieve one or two, three things, then you realize that you are using people or you're working with people to achieve things that people want. And then at the end of the day, the behavior around the planning becomes a business tool. That's why I say that if you don't understand those two, then you don't understand the behavior. And business is a behavior, and one of the behaviors is planning. One of the behaviors is planning, which then now we all need to articulate a little bit based on the conversation we have had in brief. But most importantly is for us to realize that the planning tool. So whenever we say a planning tool, for it to be effective, it must cover the following. What is it that you want to do? What are the operational activities that you want to do? And if you're going to delegate, then we must be very clear on the responsibilities. But performance measurements must be part of the tool. So we are saying that if there's a milestone, so you have to see what then can be checked at that particular point on the planning tool, so that they show you the success of every milestone as you keep on moving within that particular planning execution process. And of course, part of that, the tool must also provide uh, within the tool to show when are we going to review what. So what you call operation reviews or meetings or management review. So exactly at that particular point, you keep on now at that when you're having those meetings, you keep reflecting that we had planned to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Where are we? And then realize out of 4 things you've achieved 3, 1 is still pending, and you want to use that opportunity to see is there anything that you had an oversight that made you not achieve, so that then you revisit the planning to the extent necessary, so that you remove those roadblocks or those particular challenges that are going to help you to achieve whatever it is. Then, of course, some of the plans, then you have to realize that will sit in what we call procedures or standard routines. So basically, for example, you're planning on how to clean. So basically, you're saying that the floor shall be cleaned on Thursday. But you must remember as a leader that cleaning, there are other details around the planning that sits in an SOP. That if you're delegating to someone, then the person must be able to go back to that procedure and be able to see what are these other details that may not have been very visible from a planning point, from the bigger tool point of view that they need to recognize, so that when they're now approaching into the cleaning process, they don't leave anything. So of course, the problem solving things will work, others will not work. But the skill around problem solving supports the skill of planning. So when something is not met or something has not been achieved, let's go back and review what went wrong. So that problem, so that it can enhance you to give you better facts and better experiences, then you improve your planning from one step to another, one day to another day. So basically, that is what we have put up for this particular webinar. And we keep emphasizing as leaders that planning is a big job, honestly speaking, and it's composed of small details that goes around thinking through ideas. So we remain available and through the communication that will be shared. So if you have any further questions, it will be important that you keep communicating so that we continue engaging on this particular issue. At this particular point, I want to invite some questions. Okay, so if you don't have any question, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you in the next webinar.
Thank you so much, Mangala, for for the insights and the knowledge you've given unto us. We hope to apply whatever we've collected from this webinar into our lives every other day living. So
You're
I've
most welcome.
enjoyed
Thank
the
you.
session.
Asante sana.